Now, I think NASCAR hit on something when we brought the compounds to the races that we brought them to and went, you can use this one short run and this one is a prime tire. I think we should have done it at Bristol. Why didn't we do it at Bristol? Why didn't we bring the softer compound or whatever compound was there in the spring that we knew wore out, and this could have been a short run compound? And they could have had a tire choice as well. You could have been able to put on the primes or put on a softer tire to go faster. Why didn't we do it at Bristol?
All right, damn. What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang coming to you live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Man, I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday night. Got a lot of good NASCAR news to go over this week. Covering up on that Bristol race. I'm not going to say it was a great one, but hey, man, we made an attempt there. So hope everybody's having a good night. Way we like to start it out is what we call the word of the day. Basically, every time I say a word, I have no idea what it's going to be. You're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say it's age appropriate. Middle of the week, sweet tea, Kool-Aid, under 21. Get a Red Bull, man. Stay up, play along. So a couple weeks ago, the word was I have no idea. It's down there. I forgot my sheet. What was it, Lawrence? Logano. Maybe a couple times. I don't know. Talking about the recap on Atlanta. Yeah, there we go. 10 times. Oh, Lawrence said 10 times. It's great, man. Probably had a pretty good one going on. So at the end of the day, word's going to be, I have no idea, but every time I say it, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult beverage, y'all. So we getting ready to get into that NASCAR news. Back at it like a bad habit. I tell you what, man. Kyle Young Money Larson just smoked the field there at Bristol, man. Y'all smell that? I mean, he cooked everybody. He say he's slinging $5 barbecue sandwiches as we speak right now. Good run there for that 5 camp. We all knew it was coming. I say it all the time. I think it's the most dominant team, crew chief, driver combo with the equipment. You're not going to beat them, man. They're coming in. We're going into Kansas this week. You better watch out again this week, man. More on that in a bit. So FedEx finished with NASCAR, man. They pulling out. Oh, man. We know they cut back last year. You know, Denny Hamlin went out and ran Interstate Battery, little Mavis tire, a lot more than what he has in years past. And, you know, even if they do decide to, hats off to FedEx, has been a major sponsor in that sport and organization for a long time. So it's not like they came in, had some fame, and then got out. They rode it out, which that's a pretty good driver, pretty good career there. So hats off to them. But moving forward, man, that's the rumor. FedEx might be backing out even more than what they are, if not pulling all the way out. So we all know in today's day and age in NASCAR how important sponsorship is. Without it, it's hard to compete at the top level. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure Gibbs isn't going to have any trouble finding another major sponsor or a couple more to fill the void. I'm sure that'll come into play. And again, with a guy like Denny Hamlin goes out and wins and contends, your 3-hour commercial rotating at the front of a major broadcast company's production. So at the end of the day, it's a good pay, man. We'll see how it all works out, but you know, hopefully FedEx is still there, man. I like that. I hate for everybody's got to go buy new gear, man. It's horrible. I got my Hooters Chase Elliott hat on. We all know what happened with that sponsor, man. So I know the pain. And I don't like the blue and yellow. I don't like the blue and yellow, man. I love my dude, but I don't like the blue and yellow. So, all right, man. A little update on you know, what happened at the All-Star race. Little Ricky Stenhouse Sr. there, man. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, people are all upset wanting to boycott NASCAR over this and that. And at the end of the day, I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, he got into it in the pit area. I mean, you know, if you don't know what's going on, All-Star race, you know, Ricky Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, you know, all that stuff going on. His father was there, you know, Richard or whoever, whatever. Got in the middle of it. They suspended him indefinitely while they list suspension. I mean, look, man, the dude's probably in his, let's say, mid to late 60s, if not a little bit older than that, but I'm going to say mid to late 60s. 60s, all right? Come on, man. We scared of this guy in the garage area? I mean, for real, man. Like, Kyle Busch scared of this 60-year-old man? I mean, what's going on? What's the real scoop? You know what I mean? We need some insider scoop on that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me at all. Let them go out there. There's kids in the sport, man. It's something to be proud of as a father. I mean, come on, man. It's what it is. Well, we go to a local dirt track and that happens. Well, somebody suspended indefinitely? Hell no. You go to jail or you just call it good and come back next week. So, anyways, yeah, glad for him. Glad to see him back at the track. So if you haven't yet, man, go out, like, share, follow, all that social media, y'all. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everything. But again, most important, hit that YouTube channel. At the end of the day, it's a hell of a way to stay in touch with all of us, man.
We do a lot of good things here, not only on Rubbing and Grubbing, but Coach's Corner as well. So it's a great way to stay in tune what's going on, what's going down. We're still giving away, man. I still got the Kyle Kush shirt I got to give out. I tell you what, man. Anybody out there that predicts where Kyle Busch finishes this weekend at Kansas, okay? If Kyle Busch finishes in the top 10, I'm giving it away, man. I'm giving it away this weekend. Somebody gets it, I'll mail it out. Whoever, all right? Somebody wins it, top 10, all right? Next top 10 for Kyle Busch, he gets it. If not, championship at the end of the year, we're giving it away. Ryan Blaney helmet, you can still subscribe. Got a chance to win this. We're giving this away at some point in time, too. I mean, we're on to the round of 12. He is number 12, so maybe me and Lawrence will talk about something to do this for a fan out there as well. But, man, look, the more eyes we get on the show, hopefully the more money we raise for all the charitable causes that we do, not only here on Rubbing and Grubbing, Checkered Flag for Charity, but also Coach's Corner. So, again, just subscribe, y'all. Make sure you telling everybody, your family, everybody, subscribe, man. Oh, yeah. Lawrence almost forgot me, man. We got this up here, too. A few guys on the infield, man, gave us this little package. Really cool dudes. We've hung out with them the past couple years, man. They come over. Really nice guys, and I tell you what, they gave this to us to give away. So somebody local at some point in time, concert, something here, somebody's getting this. Somebody's going home with a little, Dale Jr. vodka swag there, a little high rock, man. So big shout out to them. Appreciate that. Local, yeah. I said, make sure it's local, man. Can't ship it out, unfortunately. People go to jail for that. NASCAR knows about that. You go to jail for that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, man, we're giving that away too. Probably a little Mountain Dew or Sun Drop in there. That's what he likes to mix it up with. You might as well go ahead and do that and a little True Dale Jr. drink. But yeah, man, big shout out to them too for that, contributing to the cause, man. So look. NASCAR tires at Bristol, man. Everybody's baffled. All right, we're going to talk about this a little bit more later on in the show. I'll give you my feels on it. But at the end of the day, kind of a swing and miss for sure. Went from one extreme to the other. It's just my thoughts, but we'll talk more about it, man. Riley Earps, man, commented on his future this week. We know he's supposed to be making the move. He's over there driving that 98. Pretty sure Stewart Haas Xfinity Series. And we know he's making that move supposedly up to 2311 next year, and 2311 didn't sign that charter agreement, so he's not too sure. Rest assured, I mean, in my eyes, I think they'll get it all figured out. Again, this is NASCAR sandbox, man. This isn't like they own it. I mean, they run it, so either you agree or don't. I'm sure they'll allow them to keep the two they have, obviously. Opening up a third one, who knows? Somebody will buy it. I mean, that's the way that NASCAR is probably looking at it. They'll get it all figured out, I think. Riley Earps will be in Cup Series next year, which is good. This guy's kind of earned his stripes down there. The run he had there at Indy was awesome. I mean, that was just a great run there. And really good, talented young kid. And we'll see what he can get into when he gets into the Cup Series. I mean, we're only getting younger as we go. So, hey, maybe he's got success. Maybe something clicks for him in the next gen. We'll see. But hopefully that all gets worked out for sure. So, speaking of the, Cup Series, man, got a little driver switch as well. That came out. Hey, man, Corey LaJoie and Justin Haley officially swapping rides. Rick Ware Racing Inspire had that agreement. Haley's going to come over, drive the 7, and Corey LaJoie goes to that 51 over there at Rick Ware. So, it starts pretty sure this weekend, too. Going to be pretty interesting to see how it all does. At least it gives these teams a few weeks to get a feel for each other going into the off season, to be able to build and kind of contribute into those, racing organizations and kind of build both teams up. I mean, that's really what you need. Now, Spire probably has some of the youngest talent, I would say, that you have out there, really, when you look at that. Justin Haley, been around for a little bit, but got some experience. But Zane Smith and Carson Hosebar, you got some young kids over there. I think it's more about sponsorship and putting that money into your program to build to help these young kids grow. I think that's what it's about. I think the talent's there. It's just, you got to get the equipment, which is hard to do. But at the end of the day, we're going to see what it does, man. Hopefully it pays dividends. Corey with the class act on all that, man. I tell you what, we bet on him in Spire, I don't know how many times in that 7 car, man, and came so close at Atlanta a few years ago to hitting so big with him. Just glad to see him have a ride, What's that? Birthday today, too, right? Oh, Lawrence just reminded me. Yeah, birthday today, too. So happy birthday on that, man. Hopefully you get a nice little birthday gift this weekend, and that Rick Ware car has a great run with Corey behind the wheel, man. Ready for that. So
Talking about the checkered flag for charity earlier, y'all. If you don't know what we do, basically whatever car number wins, we donate in. Hey, man, the 5-1, anything under the Christopher Bell and the 20 is always a 20. Brings it up to right at almost $1,700 on this little segment of the show. Getting ready to have some coolers coming up here in the near future. Got some good concerts up here at Coach's, events going. So we're going to have a few more of those. We're going to try to give away some other cool stuff, some swag. Got a lot of stuff we're giving away, man. So just make sure you're tuning in, telling people that enjoy motorsports or NASCAR in general. Subscribe, man. That's what it's all about. Like I say, hopefully the more eyes we get on the show, more money we raise. Again, if you ever come up to Coach's, you're hanging out, want to donate in Checkered Flag for charity or any of the charitable causes Coach's has going on, stop your bartender, your waitress, your waiter, man, John or Adele, whoever, just let them know you want to donate in. They'll make sure that money goes to the right place. Great feel for you. Great feel for who you're donating into. As I always say, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s. Whatever you got, man, throw it in, brother. So getting ready to get into that who's hot and who's not, but before we do, got to give a big shout out to my main man, Parker Eccles, owner-operator over there at Arbor-Man Tree Service. I tell you what, man, the best tree service in the Savannah area. Locally owned, locally operated, fully insured, taking care of all your tree service needs. Doesn't matter what it is. Full tree removal, stump grinding, getting some limbs cut back. Hey, man, you know, we got this storm coming in, which I hope everybody's going to be safe out there. Prayers and thoughts go out there to Florida. You guys are getting ready to get it pretty good. Hopefully, you know, everybody here is prepared and ready, and we'll see what happens here, but hopefully everybody's safe. But, again, good time to call Arbor, man. You know, give them a call. You'll see that number scrolling on the screen all night long. Again, as I always say, no job too big, too small. Give Parker a call, baby. Arbor-Man Tree Service. I love you, brother. So getting into that who's hot and who's not, as if y'all shouldn't know, Young Money takes the #1 spot again, man. And I tell you what, don't be surprised if you see Kyle Larson go back-to-back Bristol and Kansas. We all know he's good at Kansas. He's good at Bristol. The 5 team cranks it up. Cliff Daniels is just amazing on top of the box. You got the best wheel man out there on the track right now, hands down. I mean, there's no argument there. Anybody that wants to argue that, you just don't watch enough. You got the best driver in the sport right now, behind the wheel, best equipment to me. There's no slowing down. You're coming into a couple of them. Not only do you have Kansas here, Talladega we know is a wild card, but at the end of the day, you turn around next round, Vegas. I mean, come on, man. We know what he does at Vegas as well. So 5 right now takes the #1 spot. You better be on the lookout. If you got a guy to take, one guy for the money, better be Kyle Larson, baby. Denny Hamlin, I'll put Denny #2. He did what he had to do there this past week at Bristol. Found a way to sneak himself into that round of 12 of the playoffs. Man, had a really good car there at Bristol, and I had him here in the game of skill at Coach's. So it really kind of hurt my feelings, but at the end of the day, I can't complain, man. Did his thing. Again, the most playoff experience in the field. He's been there year in and year out, pretty much almost his whole career, it feels like. So the 11 knows how to get it done. He knows when to heat it up. He knows when to come into it. We'll see maybe if we're starting to get at that point. We'll see maybe now if he feels like it's time that he's got to start getting it going. But at the end of the day, you better watch out. The man's got experience, and he can be a threat for sure. So 3 for me on that hot list. Come on, man. I can't leave him out. You see the hat, baby. Chase the Bulldog, Elliott.
Come on, man.
Elliott. Consistency has been the key all season long. Consistency used to win championships. It doesn't anymore. It might get you there, but it doesn't win them. So at the end of the day, what I'm telling you is with Chase Elliott, second place run there at Bristol, had a great car. Wish we would have had a caution, man. I feel like he would have raced Larson really hard there and maybe gave him a run for the money. Just a shot, you know, dive bomb something. I mean, it's Bristol. You know what you're going to do. But anyways, didn't have it. Teammate, we'll see what he would have done, but I feel like he would have. But right now, consistency for the 9 team is hot. We just got to keep it rolling. We're coming into Kansas, a place that he's won, that he's pretty decent at as well. Again, man, I just feel like the 9 team's poised. We know he's won Talladega. I mean, it's just Chase Elliott is one of those drivers, man, that there's not like one of those tracks you go to and you're like, oh, you got to take Chase Elliott. He kills it here. But every week we go somewhere and it's like, yeah, he runs good there. So consistency, we'll see if he can keep it up. Eventually, got to get some stage wins. Got to get some wins. I need some wins, Chase. Get him, Bulldog. So before we get into the who's not, speaking of the Bulldogs, baby, we got a big game coming up this weekend in Tuscaloosa, 7:30. I need all the Bulldogs to turn out, man. You better come up to Coach's, man, and get rowdy. They're going to have it going on. You see the TV behind me. There's 2. There's a screen here, screen there. They're going to have that game plastered everywhere. Bring the crew. Come up. Have a good time. It's going to be going down at the doghouse in the back here at Coach's Corner, Thunderbolt, Georgia, baby. I promise you that.
I like to hype my dogs up. I was off on the score last week. Week two and week one, I was really close. I was off 3 points week one, and I think 7 last week or week before. Last week I was off big time. All right, so we're gonna talk this. I need the dogs to win by 12, and I feel like now's the time that Kirby's gonna come into Tuscaloosa. He's gonna assert himself. A bye week moving in. All right, I feel like we're gonna get this established. We're gonna bitch slap the hell out of Alabama. All right, we're going to take the number 1 spot back, and we're going to win by 12. All right, I don't know the score. We'll go, oh, man. We'll go 38. Damn, that fucked me up. We'll go 37-25, something crazy like that. 37-25 dogs. All right, that gives me my 12. We'll see if we win, but that's what we're going with, baby. Getting into the who's not, y'all. I'm going to tell you, Kyle Busch, again, is on the who's not. I hate it for him. The win streak is at risk. What we on? What we got, Lawrence? We're in the round of 12 now. What we got? 8 races left? 7 races left. 8 races. 9 races. 9 races. What we just opened the playoff? 10, 9, 8, 7. 7 races left counting this weekend. Damn, we're already there. Shit. 7 races left counting this weekend. Kyle Busch got 7 opportunities to come out and get a win. Kansas probably going to be his best. So he better go get it at Kansas, maybe Talladega, but he better go get it. On the not list, though. Just not a good run at all. Martin Truex Jr. on the not list again, man. I tell you what, I hated it for him. Seemed like he had an all right run going at the time. Didn't. Last full year in the Cup Series, I got to see him come out and get a win for sure, or at least contend. I got to see him get it, man. Next gen car at Bristol, super cold. We're going to talk about that as well. A little bit further in the show. It's just not. It's not something that's clicking, man. We've had a couple bad runs there. This year was a bad year at Bristol with the next gen. We'll talk about that in a bit, though. So getting into that Bristol recap, man, but before we do, we're going to pause for station identification right here at Coach's Corner Sports Network, y'all. If y'all excuse me, I got to grab something real quick. All right, man. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday out there. Cheers, y'all. All right, as I said earlier, baby, Kyle Young Money Larson smoked them up there at Bristol, leading 462 of 500 laps. I think that's the most by any driver ever in the night race at Bristol, and I think that's by the most by any Hendrick driver ever as far as that goes as well. So a little piece of history there for you, Kyle Larson, already putting some more signatures in those record books, man. Again, like I said, going into Kansas, we'll talk about it, but he's got it going on, man. I promise you that. So, had some other cars there for a while that looked like they were going to have some really good runs. You saw Denny Hamlin being up front there for a while. Bubba Wallace as well, man. You got to tip the hat to Bubba Wallace, 3rd place finish there. Really good run at Bristol for sure. Chase Elliott again, 2nd place finish running up there, but without a restart, man, Larson smoked him all night. It was a really good run. Kind of drama-free, it really was. We had some little mild cautions here and there, but not too much drama as far as in between drivers, people getting heated. So that kind of calmed the race down. I felt like to me, it felt like a really quick race for a 500-lap race there at Bristol, and maybe that was because of the lack of cautions. But at the end of the day, a little lackluster if you ask me. Dan, the man, okay, a bigger NASCAR fan than I am. The man is a NASCAR encyclopedia. Said very boring, which I have to agree. It was very boring. You go from two extremes to the other. You go from this tire wear in the spring race to where we only run so long and we got to back off to save tire, to something that just never really wore. So we're going to talk about it a little bit further in the show, but for me, a little lackluster there. I think a lot of races when you see one guy dominate, a little lackluster. I've seen it in my days growing up, but at the end of the day, for Bristol to be that kind of just nonchalant, really kind of hurt NASCAR for sure. But I mean, we'll see, man. So playoff picture. I mean, hey, man, we're talking about the playoffs a little bit, y'all. We all know who's in and who's out. Ty Gibbs. I tell you, I was off on my 4. I really was off on my 4. I got a couple in there, but I missed a couple as well. Truex I really thought would have carried over. Keselowski I thought would have carried over. The other two we kind of hit there. Round of 12 predictions right now, 4 out. I still got to go Cindric and Suarez for sure. Briscoe's kind of changing my mind. He really is. He's showing a lot of speed. I think the man's finished inside the top 10 3 out of the last 4 races or something like that. He's really starting to show some speed week in and week out. So I tell you what, and coming into where we're at Kansas, might go get it done in Talladega as well. So don't know, but I'm kind of leaning that way. I mean, it's just so hard to predict. But I'll go Briscoe, Cindric, Daniel Suarez, and man, I feel like a name's gonna come out. But those guys that are in now are hard, man. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait on the 4 till next week. I'll tell you next week. But those 3 for sure, I feel like are gonna be out, man. So, again, headed into Kansas, man, back to the Yellow Brick Road, one of my favorite 1.5-mile tracks we have. Once they made that configuration change, put in the progressive banking, I mean, it opened up some of the best racing we see inside the sport today. These 2 races are awesome. I mean, the long run and short run are there. You know, guys pulling up, the run comes quick, a big, vast racetrack, multiple lines. Guys give it their all when we go to Kansas, it feels like. So I cannot wait to get there. Again, Kyle Larson in the spring, NASCAR's closest finish. If you hadn't seen it, you got to go check it out. Him and Chris Buescher. You know, at the end of the day, it's just an awesome racetrack. So we'll see who and if anybody can go out and get Kyle Larson again this weekend there at Kansas. But make sure you tune in on Sunday. And better yet, you're looking for somewhere, man, come up here to Coach's Corner, Savannah's home for NASCAR, baby. I'm telling you, nobody does it for NASCAR like Coach's right here at Thunderbolt, Georgia, baby. So getting into my top 5, I mean, look, you got to be a real silly goose, man, or dropped on your head as a baby if you ain't taking the 5 car this week again at Kansas. You coming off the win at Bristol, you going into one of your really good racetracks. I mean, this is kind of like almost Jimmy Johnson-esque, right? I feel like people had a conspiracy theory saying they made the schedule for the playoffs for Jimmy Johnson. It's kind of what we get into with Kyle Larson. I mean, you know, back-to-back, Bristol and Kansas in the same round right there, or you know, right there at back-to-back in each other, ending that first round, coming into that second round. You're asking for the 5 car to go back-to-back. So I'll take Kyle Larson, number 1. 2 for me, I got to take Denny Hamlin. I mean, come on, man. The guy's there. I'll take Denny Hamlin. Kansas, another really good place. I remember watching him run Kansas as a rookie, and he's always had a knack, and that was on an old configuration. He's always had a knack for it, so I'll take Denny Hamlin second. 3rd, you see the hat, baby. Chase the Bulldog Elliott. I'm telling you, 2nd place at Bristol. Consistency is key. Going to find some speed at Kansas. Hey, he's won there before, man. He can come and get it. So Bulldog better go out there and get me a win. I know that. I need that against Harrington. He better go out and get me a win, man. 4 for me, I feel like we got to go another Joe Gibbs Toyota, and I'm going to take Christopher Bell. I mean, the kid's been running good. I think he finished top 6 there in the spring. Going to bring the heat. Barring anything, bad pit stop, equipment break, hitting the wall, he'll be in good shape. 5, we're going to throw Lawrence's guy in there. It's a Ford. It ain't Blaney, though. I'll take Joey Logano, another pass winner there. I think Logano might have it. Been shit on 1.5 miles, if you want my honest opinion. Logano will probably admit he's been shit on 1.5 miles, other than Atlanta. I will say that he just won Atlanta, but that's a different 1.5 miles. He's been shit. Anyways, so I'll throw that in there. Those are my top 5. Dark horses, man, you got to watch out for Chris Buescher again. I mean, I feel like, you know, coming in, he could have an opportunity to go out and show some speed there. We'll see if that 17 team can make it happen. Again, I think Ty Gibbs. I think the 54 car is probably going to be one of the guys that you really, really need to keep an eye on this weekend. Maybe a little fire under him getting out of the playoffs. Doesn't have anything to lose anymore. Kind of the weight off your shoulders as a rookie. Yeah, you still got to finish the season, but I mean, at least you can go out and press it, right? And I feel like Kansas for Toyota is good. So I'll take him as a dark horse, man. So that's my top 5 in dark horses for sure. So getting into that money line, but before we do, got to give a big shout out to Redfin Polarize. Whether you got a wall hanger or money on the line, make sure you see it clearly with the best polarized sunglasses on the planet, Redfin Polarize. I'm telling you, man, I love my set. The Hatteras are amazing. They got everything that needs to fit your needs, onshore, offshore, on the lake. Man, if you're trying to look good for your girl, whatever it may be, man, all polarization, colors, whatever fits those fishing needs, woods needs, I'm telling you, man, these things are awesome. So make sure you check that website out. You can also, at checkout, hit code Rubbin' and Grubbin', save you 15%, man. As I always say, live life fins up, Redfin Polarized, baby. So, money line, man, the odds this week are really wild. I was telling Lawrence that, and I just went on NASCAR and looked at the odds on NASCAR, not exactly the book, but 33-10 on Larson, which is just a weird number anyways. I don't even know why we go there. But pretty funny. So I see that. Larson, Hamlin, those guys are obviously going to be the favorite there. If you look a little bit deeper, the likes of Chase Elliott, the likes of Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, those guys have really, really good odds right there. Amazing odds if you're asking me. You go a little bit further, Logano past winners, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, again, Ty Gibbs. I mean, there's some odds to be made. We know that these Toyotas and Chevys are going to run extremely strong when we get to Kansas. I'm telling you, we've seen it year in and year out. It is something that they've done. They're going to continue to do it. So we'll see what we exactly lock in. Make sure you're following us out there on Twitter. That way you can lock in. Lawrence does a great job posting all that. We did pretty good. We hit Larson. Wasn't for a huge game, but we hit Larson. We also hit who we have to win on Saturday. We also hit that one on Saturday, so it wasn't bad. We did have Jeffrey Earnhardt out there, and I tell you what, man, good. Hats off to him for showing the speed there at Bristol. Looking forward to hopefully he runs Dega, because we're going to be pulling for him hard at Dega as well, betting on him, man. You never know. I'm telling you, had a good run going, and until it wasn't. But hey, that's how racing goes, man. But hats off. Make sure you're staying in tune, man. Love to see who you guys are betting on. Let me know if I missed something, but on the year, we're doing good. We're not too bad. We just got to get a couple more good little wins, and we'll be in the Golden State, man. So we'll see how it goes. But check out that Twitter, follow us, lock it in, man.
12,900.
What is it?
12,900.
12,900 units on the year to the goods. So we're doing good. We're doing good. Not too bad. Now I did cost him a little bit of money on the Georgia Southern game. I did take the spread. I thought I did take the points, man. I thought Southern would at least drop 21 on him, man. I mean, come on, it happens. Whatever, you know. But hey, at the end of the day, you hang your head high, man. The Grove, that's not an easy place to play, man. All right, man. So getting ready to get into the hard right turn, but before we do, I got to give a big shout out to my main man, Lamar, over there at Lamar's Body Shop. 35 plus years taking care of Savannah's auto collision needs, the best auto collision service in Savannah. Make sure you're checking them out. 2301 Skidaway Road, hop, skip, and a jump away from Coaches. Kind of a win-win, man. You can take the car by, come eat lunch, do whatever you want to do, go back, talk to Lamar. I'm telling you, his team, amazing work, man. They are the best. Again, 2301 Lamar's Body Shop, right off Skidaway Road, man. As I always say, why settle for par? Go see Lamar, baby. So, love you, brother. So, getting into the hard right turn, man. Before we do, I'm going to go ahead and kill this bad boy right here, because this one's going to go for a second. All right. So, NASCAR, damned if you do, damned if you don't, in a way, right? We only got one person to complain about when we watch the races as this Bristol or Bristol in the spring that we saw, because I can go back and I'm sure we can pull receipts on 9 out of 10 people that were complaining about the race we just saw, complained about the tires when we were there in the spring as well, right? It's not what we want to see as race fans. We all know this. So at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying, all right? It doesn't matter what they do. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They put themselves in a box when they created this next-gen car for logistics costs and to make the field more competitive, and that's basically what it did. It did what it did, but we're still doing the same things, right? We honestly are. You just went from having the Penske's and the Joe Gibbs and the Rick Hendricks and the Jack Roush's at the time and other car owners through the 90s there that were pumping money in and best engineers, best equipment, getting the most data you can possibly get. This is what racing is. Drag racing, it doesn't matter. Horse racing, it's all the same. You don't go out and buy a 6th place, 7th place finisher at, your local horse racing track. Right now, you go out and go, hey, I want the best of the best. You buy genetics. You buy what's proven. It's the same thing in this form of racing, right? So even though we put everybody in a box of saving money, we still only see the big teams really competitive. We really do. It opened the doors for teams like Trackhouse to get their feet in and 2311 to get their feet in and maybe be a little more successful than what we've seen in the past, but it's still the same game. So getting back to it, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, man. You create this tire diploma that you and Goodyear are going back and forth about, and we're trying this and we're trying that, and we tire test and we come up with this data, and that's what they're going off of. We're going off of the data. Now, we've heard a couple people talk on this week. Dale Jr. talked about it in a way. Denny Hamlin talked about it in a way on their podcast, all right? I have to agree somewhat with Dale Jr. again. When you created the next-gen car, this is what you're going to get. I mean, it is a 550 or whatever horsepower car, lightweight for what it is. It doesn't have that mechanical grip that we've seen in years past of other cars. It doesn't have the horsepower. The tire wear and what the pressure it's putting on the tire probably isn't anywhere near the same. It's more aerodynamic. It's more about the airflow and getting air off of the car and different things, right? Whatever it may be. So I don't hold NASCAR 100% accountable. I can't hold Goodyear 100% accountable. I can't go, oh, well, you know, this tire is shit and what you guys have been doing sucks really bad. Yeah, they know it sucks. I mean, but let's see how many generations of race cars Goodyear's come through, and 90% of the time made great tire compounds for those races. How many great races did we see through the 80s and 70s and 90s and close finishes and doing these things? And, you know, especially in the bigger years in NASCAR, let's go from 92 forward. Just say from there, how many amazing finishes have you seen? Amazing races of, you know, tire wear and long run and short run cars and just this. So I can't blame them either. Now, Hamlin, on the other hand, went in and says that Goodyear's racing tire manufacturing type thing is way outdated. I have no idea. I've never seen it. Could be a possibility. But at the end of the day, give them some time. Get them to get it figured out. Like, I get it. I understand it. We're going on, this is year 3. We go into year 4 next year for the next gen car. If we don't have a tire figured out for our short track programs, we got to do it. Now, I think NASCAR hit on something when we brought the compounds to the races that we brought them to and went, you can use this one short run and this one is a prime tire. I think we should have done it at Bristol. Why didn't we do it at Bristol? Why didn't we bring the softer compound or whatever compound was there in the spring that we knew wore out, and this could have been a short run compound? And they could have had a tire choice as well. You could have been able to put on the primes or put on a softer tire to go faster. Why didn't we do it at Bristol? That's all I'm saying. So I'll leave it at that, man. That's going to do it for the rubbing. We are on to the grubbing. And hey, Lawrence, let me know, man. It is National Quesadilla Day. And I'm telling you guys, if you hadn't had a quesadilla up here at Coach's, it is pretty good. And you get this thing whipped up. I mean, you've seen, I've done a couple different style quesadillas up here. It's a really good little hold 'em and fold 'em quesadilla, baby. I went chicken. Obviously, that's my fan. Not a huge beef quesadilla fan, but sour cream salsa. We're going to tear this thing up. I got some hot sauce I'm going to throw on this bad boy. I'm telling you, man, Coach's Corner. It's a hidden gem. You better come up here, man. If you haven't been at Coach's, like I always said, man, you're either under a rock or incarcerated and you just can't get here, man. But if you can smuggle what they smuggle in prisons, I bet you can get a Coach's quesadilla up in there. I bet somehow you can get a Coach's quesadilla in Chatham County right now. But, yeah, man. So, into the news. Little bye week this week on concerts, Lawrence, right? Nobody playing this weekend. Gonna have that Georgia-Alabama game, man. Shut it down for that Georgia-Alabama game. Again, as I said, you see this behind me. Big TVs everywhere, inside, outside. The best waiting service and waitress. I'm telling you, the best staff anywhere you go, man. Attentive, fast, in a hurry. That's what it's all about. Talented, too. I mean, talented. You've seen them come on here. They got talents, baby. So, you know, at the end of the day, make sure you're coming out, spending the sports weekend up here at Coach's Corner, the #1 sports bar in Savannah, the #1 place to be in Savannah, man. You got to come up to Coach's and check it out, baby, this weekend. Demasi coming on tonight, Coach? Yep. Coach Carl in the house, baby. Demasi Sports Report coming up 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. So make sure you're going out and supporting that. Going to have some guests on tonight, as he always does. He'll probably be talking a little bit about that wild card run there for the Braves. We chopping on, baby. We coming. I'm telling you, Chris Sale going to shut them down tonight. It is on. It is. It's all Braves from here on out, baby. Pedal to the metal, nothing but gas, man. So make sure you supporting out there in Braves country, showing love. But tune in to Coach Carl, keeping you up to date. Everything sports around the local area. Does a great job. Go out there, check that YouTube channel as well. Make sure you're subscribing to that. Just an amazing coach, man. Amazing man, staple of the Savannah area. You got to know, you know, a bada bing, a bada boom type stuff with Coach Carl Demasi. You know, you got to love him, baby. But at the end of the day, hey, I hope everybody's having a great night. Good Wednesday. Stay safe. Got this little hurricane getting ready to come across our area. I hope everybody in Florida is prepared, ready, batten down the hatches. Hey, man, just, you know, watch out for your neighbor. You know, this is the time of need. You got to take care of each other. If you know somebody that's going to need some help, hey, man, help them out. That's what it's all about. So till next Wednesday, man, hope you guys have a great night. As always, love you. Till next time, stay safe. And as always, wash your hands, Joe. Love you guys.